All right, you caught me typing. Hey, welcome back to Student of the Gun Radio. It is Monday. Welcome to a brand new week of entertainment, enlightenment, and education. And Jared's going to go ahead and put my show clock up there on the monitor so I know how long I've been talking. And that way I know when to close my mouth. And who is this guy talking? Well, just in case this is your very, very firstest time ever listening to Student of the Gun Radio, welcome. I am your host, Professor Paul Markle. We are coming to you from Student of the Gun University, and I'm currently sitting inside of the Glass Case of Emotion Studios. That's right, Student of the Gun University is the home of the Glass Case of Emotion Studios. And outside of the glass case, because I have to be in it, but on the outside of it is Jared, the show's producer, the production engineer, the man with the plan, the guy behind the curtain that makes everything work. Say hello to the folks at home, Jared.
Hello to the folks at home, Jared. Is that what I was supposed to do? No.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie. He's over there. I'm kind of jealous because I didn't get to drink out of my AAFU coffee mug this morning.
That's right, it says. Because we don't need your permission.
Yeah, if you don't need somebody's permission to do something,
to exercise your rights,
yeah, or just to drink coffee, then go to American Association of FU.com. Get your coffee mug. But this is Monday. This is Monday, right?
It is Monday as far as I know.
Monday.
All day long.
Yep, and we had the Faith in the Patriot book launch last week, and I just wanted to take a moment to thank every single one of you that jumped in on that, got your free ebook, and I hope that you guys are enjoying the ebook. We will be shipping the first set of orders soon. Well,
by the time you hear this, all right, you kind of jumped on my thing there, but I'm going to go ahead and.
Oh, I didn't see that.
You didn't see that?
Oh.
Get out of my head, freak.
There it is. You just typed that, didn't you?
No, it was there. It's been there the whole time.
Really?
I wanted to actually take a moment to express to you in the listening audience how humbled I am by the response we got to the Faith in the Patriot book. We did a pretty big launch, pretty big lead up, and we talked about it. And this has been a project that's been in the works for several months now. And we wanted to do it right. We didn't want to rush it. And I think we did. I think we did do it right. As a matter of fact, I know that we did it right based upon your response. And your response was so overwhelming that we had to, after the first day, when did we officially let it go to the grad program and the list people? Tuesday or Wednesday? Tuesday. Yeah, by Wednesday morning, I was contacting the publisher to do another printing. We sold out of the initial printing in the first 24 hours. And I had to contact the publisher or the printer and say, I'm the publisher, but I don't actually print the books. We don't have like the machines here at the university. They're somewhere else in the world. I had to contact them and do a rush order, tell them we need more. So please have patience. If you ordered it on the first day, then you're in the first run and you should have yours very, very soon. If you ordered it the second, third, fourth day, fifth day, whatever, it is on its way. We've got them. And the publisher or the printer, I keep saying publisher, the printer is actually pretty good. They don't rush it like next day because we're printing books, but they're pretty good about it. So we're getting those out. And I sat down. I started this weekend signing the books. Zach brought out a huge box of books, and he prepped the table, and he put my pen on the table, and he cleaned it off, and he sat me down. I put my headphones in, and I started signing books. And I was listening to my Pandora station. I was rocking out. But it struck me as I was doing that, as I was signing those books, as I looked at the stack of books, that I wanted to express to you how humbling of an experience it was that so many of you out there in the listening audience have the faith in us and what we do to participate in it, to invest your hard-earned money in our words and videos and so forth. And I do want to say this to you. If you have not had the opportunity, you're listening to me, you're like, this guy just wants my money. I don't want your money. This is what I want you to do, though. I want you to go to studentofthegun.com, The video is up there. The base video, the original one, number one. Watch it. And at the end of each video, the little yellow button comes up, and if you click that, you get free material, free informational, educational material. We've got audio material. We have PDF, immediate download PDF material. I want you guys to take advantage of that. That material is so important that I don't want you to miss out on it. Even if you have no intention whatsoever of purchasing a Faith in the Patriot book, that's fine. That's cool. But I do want to make sure that if you are a faithful person, if you're on the fence, if you're thinking, well, my friends talk to me about this Christian thing, but, I look at them and I see, oh, they're weak, or they're hypocrites, or they're, servile. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be a part of that. I was watching TV, and this Father Pfluger guy got up on the TV and said we need to support gun control. And I was surfing the internet, and I saw that the Pope said that all gun makers, or that gun makers can't be Christians. That's the opinions of men, of individual men. That's not the opinion of the faith. That is not the opinion. That is not the direction that we get. And that's the whole purpose of the Faith in the Patriot book, is to point out the shortcomings of men when it comes to that situation. And I don't believe for 1 second that that the Bible, that God, that our Creator wants His followers, His children, to be weak. There's no calling, there's meek, not weak. We're like, oh, it's just the meek shall inherit the earth. Yes. Meek has to do with humility. It doesn't have to do with being weak and subservient, being a lapdog, being a peasant, being a slave. I'm going to ask you this. Jared, who has the ability, what type of a person can bestow mercy? Can a weak person bestow mercy on you?
No.
What do you have to be first before you can be merciful?
You have to be strong.
You have to be strong. So I'm not going to belabor the point, but if you have not had the opportunity yet, and like I said, even if you have no desire at all to get in on the Faith in the Patriot book program, that's fine. Do yourself a favor. Watch the first video. It's 5 minutes long. And then click the button and get the free information. There's the bonus radio hour, the Sermon on War radio show that we put up, which is fantastic. And then there's also an article, a direct link to an article. And if you watch the second one, you get another, and the third, and another, and so forth. So the material's out there, and I want you guys to make sure that you're taking advantage of that. No excuses. All right, no excuses. Oh, sweet Buddha on a rubber raft. The patches are almost gone. Some of you, many of you, have taken advantage of the Sweet Buddha on a rubber raft patch. This was just kind of something that, I've been saying that for years and years because I stole it from my jiu-jitsu coach 10 years ago because he used to say it. And you guys like it, and we said, all right, we're going to do a patch. You guys want a patch? And you're like, yeah, I want a patch. Well, we've decided, Jared and I, that when we do these patches, they're going to be limited runs. We talked to our patch maker about doing reprints, and he said, no, the best thing for you to do, Paul, is to do single runs. Let everybody know, tell all your fans and followers and students of the gun, look, here's the deal. We're going to do this. We're going to release it. When they're gone, and then we're going to do another one. So I talked with Zach, the shipping ogre, and he said we had about 12 to 15 Sweet Buddha patches left. And here's the dealio, yo. When they're gone, they're gone. So if you've been on the fence or vacillating or like, well, I don't know, I'll wait till my birthday in October, and then I'll treat myself with one. I can tell you this, by October it's going to be too late. So if you want one, get in there and grab it up, because once they're gone, brothers and sisters, they be gone. And like I said, the shipping ogre says I asked him to do a hard count on them, and we sold a few this weekend. So we're probably looking at somewhere between a dozen and 15 right now.
The inventory on studentofthegungear.com says 16. So we'll see. We'll have to check and make sure that that's correct because we.
Well, it should be. Okay, so 16. But
yeah.
All right. Other stuff. On Friday last, we had the grad program bonus hour, and we threw out the shower knife challenge. And for those of you in the public hour, you're like, what? Here's the deal. Jared, tell them about the Student of the Gun grad program Facebook group that you set up.
I set up a private group for everybody that is a grad program member. You have to ask to join the group, and I vet you guys by checking the email that you use for the grad program. So I make sure that only the grad program people are in there. And it's kind of cool because we had a dude ask a question about flying and what to do with the TSA thing, and everybody else jumped on. And it's like, hey, this is what you should do. This is some experiences I've had. Here's a source for a video that I know about. And that's really what the grad program page is all about. It's about you guys being able to communicate with each other. And Dad threw out a challenge. You want to tell him about the challenge?
What, the shower knife challenge?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and we talked about this. We're going to talk about it in detail tomorrow, about the situation that happened to Lynn Russell and her husband, how they were attacked in their hotel room, and the husband was in the shower. And, we considered whether or not you should be aware and armed all the time. And a lot of people think, well, when I'm in the bathroom, I'm in the shower, I'll be, I'm safe. And you're like, well, why are you safe in the shower or in the bathroom? Because the nice thing to do would be to wait until you're out of the shower and you've dried off and you put your clothes back on. That would be the nice thing to do, to wait. I'm not going to attack you while you're in the shower. I'm not going to break into your house while you're in the bathroom, because that would be wrong. And, God knows that home invaders want to be right and they want to be polite. And you're like, Jeff Cooper, in one of his many books, said that if you can't reach a gun in 3 seconds, you've missed the point of the exercise. And he doesn't say that you necessarily had to have it strapped on you, but if I count 1001, 1002, 1003, and you can't put your hand on a firearm or a defensive tool of some sort, then you missed the point of the exercise. So it does you no good to go about your entire life all armed and ready, except when certain circumstances. So we advertised our shower knife here years ago. It's been several years, because that Spyderco salt knife has been hanging in my shower for 3 years now. And it is 100% rust-free, and it is still sharp. That is a testament to anything made out of steel. So we threw out the challenge. We're like, okay, guys, show us your shower knife, your bathroom AK. And you guys really impressed me. Jared, did you see the lunacy of some of our followers or some of our grad program members, the things that they were putting in their showers?
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to wield a broadsword in a bathroom. I guess you could just thrust it a whole bunch of times.
Well, we had our one dude that's like, I got about 10 meters between the door and I. I'm like, holy crap, that's a big bathroom.
10 meters?
Yeah.
There's no...
That's what he said.
In his bathroom?
Yeah, let me look.
I think from the front door maybe to the bathroom. There's no way he has a 10-meter long bath, unless he's lives in the Rockefeller mansion.
Here we go.
Do you know how long 10 meters is?
Yeah, I know how
it's
long
longer
10
than
meters
10
is.
yards, which is longer than 30 feet.
Concealed is usually best. There is 10 meters between the door and me, so I have time to react to each weapon. That's in his bathroom.
Okay, well, hey, if you live in a mansion where you have a bathroom where the commode is 30-plus feet away from the door, I want to come hang out at your house. You probably have like a 10-person jacuzzi in there or something.
Oh, Sally, thanks for the button.
Thanks for the button. Yeah, and we posted that on the grad program and also on the Instagram.
On Instagram, too.
Yeah. All right, kid. Well, it is Monday, which means it's time for our SWAT Fuel Warrior of the Week. Go ahead and hit us with the Warrior of the Week, and then let me know what their question was.
Hello, Paul and Jared. Wondering if you could go over one day on the show the importance of a good belt for everyday carry, and also maybe your recommendations for extra magazine carriers. On the belt, in the pocket, what's the most comfortable and best way to do it? Thanks for all you do, guys. Goodbye.
All right. You going to tell him, remind him what he needs to do to get his SWAT Fuel 9mm plus P?
Yeah, if you want to get your SWAT Fuel 9mm plus P bottle, I need you to email Alex. That's Alex, ALEX, at studentofthegun.com. Send her your name, your mailing address, your phone number, and your email typed into the body. And she will get your information over to Dano. And, all right, that is a great topic, and it's a topic that most gun people, especially new gun carriers, they just skip right over because belts aren't cool and sexy. Guns are sexy, and holsters are sexy. But people are like, a belt is a belt. And they'll buy a crossbreed holster. It's a good time they buy like a Super Tuck, and they're like, well, I don't, I need a good belt. I have lots of belts. I mean, my whole closet is full of, brown belts and black belts and tan belts and, canvas belts and what have you. So why should I bother to spend money on a new belt? And you could say that, yeah, that might be true. Folks, something that you probably may or may not have thought about is the weight, the extra weight. When you start carrying a gun, especially if you never have in your life, you're used to just having a belt in your shorts or your trousers or whatever, and you cinch it up and you go about your business. Well, then you take 1.5 pounds of steel, polymer, aluminum, wood, and put it on your belt. You put it in your pants or on your pants or what have you. And you're like, wow, this is really super uncomfortable, especially if you have a thin belt. Most trouser belts are only meant to hold up your pants. That is it. They're not meant to hold up anything more than maybe your cell phone case. So invest in a quality belt, a thick belt, a stiff belt, a sturdy belt. And you're like, yeah, but man, they want like $20, $30, $40 sometimes for these. Yeah, I understand that, because it's not a piece of crap that you bought at Walmart or JCPenney or what have you. It wasn't made in China by peasant slaves. It's actually a quality piece of gear. Are you serious about carrying the gun? Well, yeah, of course I'm serious about it. Well, then if you have a fantastic holster and a crappy belt, you're going to have a bad experience. Your holster is going to shift around on you. It's going to leave not so much a mark, but it could rub. Folks, I did that. Learn from my mistakes. When I was a young bodyguard, I got out of the Marine Corps, I went to bodyguard school, I got on a job, and I went and I spent, I don't know how much it was at the time, but I bought a really nice Galco leather holster, and I had a 1911. And I went to my closet, and I was like, well, I've got belts that kind of look like that holster. I'll just wear them. Big mistake, dummy, because what was it? It was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I was on duty, working an assignment, and I'm standing out in the driveway in front of a client's house, and I think I got in or out of a car, and bam, the belt broke, like right by the buckle area. Like, don't I feel dumb? Now, fortunately, I had another belt in a suitcase that was not too far away, and it wasn't a crisis, but if I wouldn't have been right there, been kind of silly, because it's kind of hard to carry a pancake belt holster on a broken belt. I would have had to stick it in my waistband or something. Folks, a quality belt is part of it. Now, as far as carrying spare ammunition, the weird thing about concealed carry is that one of the hardest things about concealed carry is not actually carrying the gun. One of the hardest things about it is carrying the spare ammunition. You're like, that doesn't make any sense. I know it doesn't seem on the face of it. It seems on the face not to make any sense. But most firearms are kind of, they're designed to be held in your hand, right? So they're at least a little bit ergonomic. They don't have sharp edges or rough sides or what have you. Now, magazines are meant to go up into the machine, and they're not meant to be carried or held all by themselves, unless they're spare magazines. And so what I found is really it's tougher to conceal and comfortably carry spare mags than it is the gun.
I know, as bizarre as that sounds, I know a lot. I know a lot of guys who I've talked to. They said, "Yeah, I'm right down there with you." What I like to do is I like to take my spare ammunition, as my friend Jay Gibson likes to say, and wrap a gun around it. Or I have spare ammunition that has its own launching system. So that is one way to do it. If you think about it, if you take a spare magazine for your main gun and you load it up, and then you weigh any other kind of a pocket 380 or a pocket 9 or what have you, you'll find they're like, wow, I could carry a second gun. I could carry a whole nother gun for the weight of that magazine. Now, am I telling you not to carry spare magazines? No, I'm not telling you to carry spare magazines. There are a couple of companies that make pocket holsters for spare mags. I'm not sure if DeSantis still does. You're going to have to check it out. Just check pocket holster or pocket scabbard for spare magazine. I know they kind of come and go because, quite frankly, they're kind of like belts. They're not sexy, so the companies don't make them as often. Well, I hope that answered your question for you, and make sure that you send your name and address and all that stuff to Alex, because she wants to make sure that you get your SWAT fuel. All right, moving right along. Let me get back to my show notes here. And thank you very much to everybody who participates in the SWAT Fuel Warrior of the Week challenge. And thank you, of course, to SWAT Fuel for making that happen. Oh, you know what? This next section is going to be really long. So before I get into it, I want to go ahead and do a little sponsor acknowledgement just to make sure. Folks, the people who support us are good people. They're vetted by me. They are serious about what they do. They're serious about being patriots. And Larry Lasky and Stacy at Frog Lube are those kind of people. They are serious about freedom. They're serious about liberty. They're serious about being patriots. And Frog Lube is a company that is run by patriots. It's run by a former U.S. Navy SEAL. So check those guys out at froglube.com. It just works. Century Arms, makers of the C39, 100% made in the USA AK. Put some Frog Lube on those suckers, and when you get a brand new gun, anytime you would do yourself a favor, you get a brand new gun out of the box, just disassemble that sucker and clean it up or wipe it down. Get some good lube up the gun, reassemble it, and go to town. That's part of our process now. When we get a new gun, we generally strip it down, wipe it down, and put Frog Lube on it. Brownells at brownells.com. Brownells has lots of stuff that you need, lots of things in their new catalog. They have a new product section, and if you're signed up to the Brownells newsletter, you probably know that they're promoting their 308 or AR-10 magazines. You're like, whoa. Yes, these are Brownells exclusive. They're made by Brownells. They're not somebody else's. Brownells has a full line of exclusive Brownells signature products. They've been making AR-15 magazines for a long time now. When I say long, all the way back to like almost the beginning of the current global war on terror. They have 308 magazines, and so if you've got a magazine-fed AR, a magazine-fed 308 AR, and the AR-10 style or the DPMS style or what have you, go to brownells.com, check out their new products section, and check out those magazines. All right, Jared, are we ready?
We are ready.
We are ready. All right.
Are we ready? I'm always ready.
Let me take a sip out of my coffee cup before I continue.
I'm kind of excited to talk about this topic today because it's something that I've been thinking about, and obviously Dad's been thinking about it too because he put it in the show notes today. And I'm just really excited to actually listen to him talk about it.
I don't even want to talk about this, but I have to.
Yeah.
I have to. I shouldn't. That's the sad thing about my job or about what we do. I should not have to break this down and explain it. But based upon what I'm seeing on social media, based upon what I'm seeing in the blogosphere, and this isn't just Facebook posts. This is actually people writing in the gun culture, writing articles and op-ed pieces and so forth. It was on the Blaze. It was on Breitbart. And it says, essentially, it says, national gay marriage equals national concealed carry. So all of these pro-Second Amendment people are like, oh, well, the Supreme Court really stepped in it there because by destroying the states' rights, by crapping on the 9th and 10th Amendments of the Bill of Rights, the Supreme Court has left the door open for national concealed carry, and that's what we need, that's what we want, that's what we have to have. Not so fast. First and foremost, that is not a guarantee of anything. And if that's... Jared, man, I'm not even sure how to go with this because there's so much that I want to say. Do you guys understand what the Second Amendment is all about? Yeah, I know what the Second Amendment is all about. It's about guns. It's about my right to keep and bear arms. That is what the Second Amendment is all about. Okay. All right. And it's not about hunting. And it's not about skeet shooting. It's my right to keep and bear arms for the defense of my family. Okay. My community. Okay. And my country. Okay. Did Madison put the Second Amendment in there so that you would have a guaranteed right to possess an item? Well, kind of, yeah. What is the purpose in design of that item? And the item in this case is a firearm. All right. He could have, if this would have been written 200 years earlier or 300 years earlier, the word firearm could have been substituted for sword. All right. In the Bible, there's tons of references to the word sword, and it's a generic term for a defensive weapon or a weapon used to preserve life or take life or what have you. But it's a tool. The Second Amendment is not there to guarantee you the right to walk around with your favorite toy. Oh, shut up, Paul. Stop, listen to me. You're willing, so what, all you guys out there, all of you national gay marriage cheerleaders are out there, and you're in the gun culture, and you're cheerleading for nationalized gay marriage because you believe that decision is going to force the Supreme Court to acknowledge and enforce a national concealed carry reciprocity agreement. Because now every state will have to acknowledge and accept it, right? Even New York and New Jersey and California, they won't be able to stop you. So you live in Alabama or Florida or Mississippi or Louisiana or Texas, whatever, and you have a concealed carry permit there. So you think that pretty soon down the line that you're going to be able to drive through the streets of New York perfectly legal wearing your Roscoe with, you got your gun strapped on. And now they can't say anything about it. Nanny Bloomberg's gone now. What's the new communist up there in New York City? De Blasio. And that sucker is a full-blown, off-the-charts communist. So, and him and his minions, Gary McCarthy, the enforcer up there in Chicago, he's not going to be able to say anything to you. Screw you, Gary. Folks, why do you desire to carry a firearm? What is a firearm to you? Now, to us, to me, to we at Student of the Gun, a firearm is first and foremost an instrument of liberty. It is a tool that we use to ensure our liberty. It's not something, I don't carry a gun as a penis extension. I don't carry it to make me feel more manly. I don't carry it as some kind of a coffee table talking point so I can start conversations with my friends in gun shops and gun shows and what have you.
Only the grad program members will get this, but that's what ties are for.
That's right. That's what ties are for.
It's funny that...
that was only in the grad program.
Yep, it was only in the grad program. What I'm going to do, actually, real quick while we're on this, is I'm going to put the whole Grossman interview together into one audio file, part 1 and part 2, and I'm going to deliver it to the grad program this Friday.
Oh, you are?
Yep.
Well, aren't you a nice guy? When did you decide you wanted to be such a nice guy?
Well, I posted the question on the grad program Facebook page. I was like, hey, if I do this, would that be, you guys want that? And they're like, yes. So I think only one dude was like, well, I already have part 1 and part 2, so no. Everybody else was like, yeah, it makes it easier to listen to.
Aw. Look at that. Jared's making more work for himself.
It'll take like 30 seconds.
Aw. Well, I tell you what, brothers and sisters, do you guys understand? I think we've missed the point. Now, first and foremost, how many of you guys know that the day before the Supreme Court came out and betrayed the Constitution by dictating to the individual states what they could and could not legislate? And yes, there's this thing called the 10th Amendment, and there's this thing called the U.S. Constitution, and it says, let me see if I can find that, if I can put my hands on a copy. You know what, Jared? You know what we need to institute? In addition to the Jeff Cooper 3-second rule, we need to go ahead and throw the U.S. Constitution into that.
Oh, yeah.
If I count 5 and you can't put your hands on the Constitution, you're wrong. All right.
I could, but I'd have to run in there.
That's right here in my hand. All right. Amendment number 10. This is to the United States Constitution, the supreme law of the land. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people. Now, Amendment 9, which you probably never read, but the enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others that are retained by the people. The Constitution of the United States was not put in place to grant all power to a centralized federal government. It's the exact opposite. The Constitution of the United States of America was put in place to strictly limit and abridge the powers of the centralized government. That is why it's there. Just because we've forgotten that, and because the traitors in black robes that are sitting up there on Capitol Hill, because they've forgotten that, doesn't change that fact. Where in the Constitution, it's only 4,000 some words, does it institute gay marriage? Oh, it's not a marriage thing. It's civil rights. Oh, okay. All right, civil rights. Folks, let me tell you what. The moment that we decided that the Supreme Court and the federal government was the arbiter of civil rights was the day that individual liberty in America died. For shame. For shame. How can you say that? You're a bigot. You're a racist. Shut the front door. Jared was reaching for the button.
Yeah, I was like, oh no. My green button, that's what it's for.
Shut the front door. Do you not understand what has happened? Am I against the civil rights movement? No, I'm not against the civil rights movement. But what we did, what your government did, is decided that all we have to do, anytime the centralized government decides they want to dictate to each individual state how they can and can't run their state, they just call it a civil right, say that the Supreme Court has decided that we are the arbiters of all civil rights in America, and this current situation is a civil rights situation, so thereby you shall listen to us and do as we say. Folks, what you just did, oh, I know what I was going to say. So the gay marriage thing happened. What happened the day before that, Jared? What did the traitors in black robes do the day before?
I don't remember.
You don't. You know why? Because you and thousands, millions of people just like you fell into the trap. The day before they came out and trumpeted the gay marriage thing, they affirmed Obamacare.
Oh, yeah.
You say, oh, yeah. But let me tell you what. There's a little thing called ignorance, distraction, and guilt.
Yep.
And so what they do is
you need to put that article on the to-do list.
The traitors, it's out there. Isn't it? Didn't
No.
I write it?
It's not on our blog. It's not on studentofthegun.com/blog, and it needs to go there.
The traitors in black robes betrayed the states again by affirming or deciding, legislating from the bench, that the centralized federal government does indeed have the authority to force the states and the people of the states to purchase a product that they have deemed necessary. They've decided that this product is necessary for you to have. And if you don't purchase this product, you will be punished. And the states cannot opt out of that. They have to participate, according to the 9 traitors in black robes up there on there. So they did that, and people were concerned. Liberty-loving, pro-constitutionalist people were very concerned that yet again, Roberts, and I'm sure they have naked pictures of him or something, I don't know what the deal is, he betrayed us. He's bought and paid for. You just understand by this, I hope by this time that you hear this show, you understand that Judge Roberts has betrayed the people of the United States, and he is in the pocket of the sitting government. Do you understand that? Can we agree with that and move on with our lives? So they did that, and everyone was talking about it. Even some of the big news networks were talking about it. Even some of the pundits on the various channels were addressing that, and they addressed it for a grand total of 24 hours. And then the very next day, they did this, and that distracted the whole entire nation. Yes, we have a nation of ADD squirrels. What? Gay marriage? Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Or people that didn't think it was wonderful. Some of the people who don't think it's wonderful are arguing with people that do think it's wonderful. And they're all arguing with each other. And nobody remembers that the Supreme Court just betrayed the Constitution and the states and the people yet again. Yep.
Do we really expect anything different right now? Because nobody's doing anything about it.
So you guys out there in the gun culture that are also pro-gay rights, first of all, rights come from where? The government? Oh, the government bestows rights. Folks, let me tell you something. You gun culture folks, you better be careful who you get in bed with. And I've said this before. I'm going to go ahead and say it again because apparently not everyone got the memo. The moment that you decide or agree that the government, that the sitting body, that man, that the humans that are currently occupying the seats of government are the people in charge of dispersing and enforcing rights, you've lost. Oh, well, no, I've not lost anything. Yes, you have, and let me explain. If your rights come from man, they are not rights. Oh, they are. They're civil rights, and the court's gonna decide. If you have to secure your quote-unquote rights by having men, human men, members of the government, affirm those, grant those to you, give you the protections, they're not rights. Do you understand that? If a human is in charge of giving you a right, it's by definition not a right. It is a privilege. I hope you got my limiter on. It is a privilege that has been granted to you by the sitting government. Any privilege granted can be revoked. Do you understand this? Can we get this as a gun culture through our heads? Every time you talk about this right and that right and blah, 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 right and right and right and right, when everything is a right, nothing is a right. We have gay rights and smokers' rights, and, well, no, smokers don't have rights. We have women's rights and this rights and that rights, rights and rights and rights and rights and rights. Folks, when you go way back to before the country was run by squirrels with ADD and before we had the current mob rule, when you go back to it, people understood that there actually were very, very, very few inalienable rights. Very few. Not everything you want. I have a right to health care. Health care is a human right. Shut the front door. Health care is not a human right. Health care is a privilege that's being granted to you by the slave masters in the capitals. And the moment the slave masters can't or decide not to do that anymore, it will no longer be your right. When you look to the seats of power to grant you rights, what you are essentially doing is begging for privilege. And when you surrender your rights, your inalienable rights, when you voluntarily jump on board and surrender the rights of the states and thereby the people to a centralized government, you think that same group of people that just looked out across America and said, hey, Alabama, Arkansas, Alaska, Montana, Minnesota, Missouri, hey, all of you states, we've decided that you can no longer make your own laws. We've decided that anytime we come up with a civil right, we're going to go ahead and nullify your state's authority, thereby the authority of the people, because who elects the representatives in the state? Who elects the governors, the reps, the House members? Who does that? The people. The farther away from the people you get, the greater tyranny you will receive. When you look not to your county, not to your city, not to your county, not to your state, when you look all the way to Washington, D.C. to solve your problems, the farther away from home you go, the greater tyranny you're going to get. And I'm sorry if I hurt your little gay rights feelings. And if you're a homosexual listening to me, let me tell you what. I just did an article called Being a Gun Owner is Not Enough. I'm thinking about doing another article called Being a Homosexual is Not Enough. Folks, the gun owner article, all these people out there that cast a vote for Comrade Barry Hussein and all of his ilk, but they look at me and they're like, I'm a gun owner, therefore you must listen to my opinion. You know what? I don't give one rat's fat rear end if you're a gun owner. It's not about owning an object, it's about allegiance. If you have no allegiance to the founding principles of this nation, I don't care how many toys you own. I don't care how many times you went into a gun shop and purchased an object. You're not a friend of mine. You are not my ally. The same, if you are a homosexual and you're a gun owner, but you also support the current regime, that you think that the national regime has the authority to dictate to all the states and to the people how they can and cannot live, then you have no allegiance to the founding principles. I don't care where you stick what, or what you stick in what hole. It does not matter. It's about allegiance. If you cannot hold the allegiance to principle, if you cannot hold the allegiance to the founding, it matters not one bit. It matters not at all. You cannot support, and I'm going to say this right now, write this down as you hear this. If you think that the Supreme Court forcing the states to accept gay marriage is somehow a win for pro-Second Amendment people, you are delusional. You need to read beyond the headline. You think that Roberts and Sotomayor and those other freaks up there at the Supreme Court are going to... Do you understand the Supreme Court does not have to hear any case it chooses to not hear? It can ignore any case, and there's no repercussion. They don't have to do anything they don't want to do, which brings up a good point. Why would they do this the day after they reaffirmed Obamacare? They didn't have to do this. There is no law that says the Supreme Court must hear a case based upon nothing. They're autonomous. They're not beholden to the voters. The voters cannot force the Supreme Court to do anything. You understand that, right? Which is the danger of the Supreme Court, is because they are not beholden to the people. They could do anything they want, and the people can't vote them out. Only the Senate can impeach them, the Senate and the House, but we know what a bunch of spineless weenies they are. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not about being gay or not gay. It's not about being a gun owner or not a gun owner. Tell me again how Roberts and Sotomayor and what is that other freak that Obama put on the court, that they're going to sit down and they're going to hear a pro-Second Amendment, pro-gun piece, and they're going to vote to give you national reciprocity. The courts have already decided at the lower level, at the district level, that the Second Amendment can be restricted more greatly because it involves dangerous objects. Do you understand that? The courts have already decided that the Second Amendment, all the other amendments, well, whatever, rights and stuff and junk. But the Second Amendment involves the possession of dangerous objects. Therefore, we need to restrict it. We just talked about it last week, did we not, Jared? So, folks, this is what I'm going to leave you with. You better flush out your head. You better read beyond the headlines. You better think a little bit more. It's not about objects. It is about allegiance. A firearm is not a toy that you carry around to make everyone think you're a cool guy or a cool girl. It's an instrument of liberty. And what is that for? Why did Madison give us that? Why did he say, okay, here's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to make absolutely sure that you have the tools necessary to preserve the tools necessary to preserve the republic. Never in the history of this nation have the people been so well equipped to defeat tyranny, yet at the exact same time too ignorant and distracted to even know how to fight. The tools are there. We don't need more tools.
You should have just dropped the mic
and walked off.
You should. That was it. You should have just dropped the mic and walked off after that one.
I can't. I did a hard pause. All right, that's it for today. But before that's it, I gotta thank some more people, because I got black carbon steel microphones and pop filters that I got to talk into, and Jared's got to maintain a website, and that crap ain't free. Velocity Triggers. If you got a black rifle, they got a trigger for you. Check them out at velocitytriggers.com. Crossbreed holsters. We talked about them a little bit before, but they have belts. They have super tucks. Caitlin. And did you ever get a response from Trent, or is he still ignoring you?
No, he emailed me back.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. He just conveniently ignored that sentence.
That part?
Yeah.
Oh, Trent, come on now. Crossbreedholsters.com. You want to carry a gun? You should be carrying a gun. And don't forget about our good buddies at Duracoat. You got an old gun, a new gun, a black gun, a gun that used to be blue and now it's like multicolored because it rusted and you cleaned it and now all you can see is the steel. That's cool. Duracoat can help you put a professional, brand new, make it look good. Hey, grad program members, listen up, freaks. I know it's not the grad program hour, but I'm going to throw a challenge out to you guys. I saw one of our fans, one of our followers, had posted a picture, and they were Kryloning. They were using Walmart Krylon to do a gun. What the freak, hippies? Are you not listening? Go to Duracoat, go to Lauer Custom Weaponry, go to Brownells, and get the Duracoat can-in-can technology, and you won't have to Krylon your gun every 6 months. How about that? Follow the directions. What I wanted to tell them is, you guys get on it. And we want to see your pictures. All you grad program people, get on it, Duracoat your guns, put your pictures up on the exclusive Student of the Gun grad program Facebook page. How's that sound, Jared?
And if you've already used Duracoat and you have pictures readily available, go to Duracoat's Facebook page, post your picture on there, and let them know who sent you.
Woohoo! All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me see. Tomorrow, mañana. Mañana. What are we going to talk about? Oh, we're going to talk about ex-CNN anchor Lynn Russell. Now, we talked about this on Friday, but there's more follow-up. And she did a couple of interviews since the incident, and she had something really interesting to say. This is a CNN anchor has something to say to gun control activists. You do not want to miss this. We've got some lessons learned. And what else we got? Going down. Oh, foreign invader murders woman with stolen gun. But I bet you didn't hear about it because you were talking. You were too busy.
I heard about it.
You were too busy worrying about fussing over Confederate flags and gay marriage to see that your nation is crumbling. But we're going to talk about it tomorrow.
And if you guys have, actually, not if you guys have access to watch our videos. We're going to have one coming out very soon with Dad and Mookie talking about the Confederate flag issue.
Oh, we will?
Yep.
Okay.
Do you remember filming that?
I guess we did. We filmed a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, remember, you're beginner once, student for life.